Yeah, g'day fellas. This is Shane from Project Automotive. I got a VL with a Barra and a big turbo in it. How fucking sick is that?
That's right, this is my long-term project. It's been going now for probably 3 or 4 years maybe, probably even longer. I'll insert some photos here while I'm talking and you'll see what I got it when I got it, what it was like. It wasn't like it is now. It would have been parked under a tree, had no running gear except for a stock diff, that's about it. Interior wise it's pretty clean, there's heaps of stuff in there at the moment, but I'll now go over the car, what we've done. Ta-da! It's no RB, there's no JZ, it's the mighty Barra. That's right, mighty Barra. So on this one I've decided to go Barra. It's got a Turbo 400, it's got a forward 9-inch, and we've got a G42 1450. So I'll show you all through these things. Just running a Haltech 2400 plug-in harness. I just didn't run the drive-by-wire, just run the throttle cable. To try and keep things, I guess, easier for myself, just run the factory VL throttle cable to the Platinum here. But let's run through a bit of parts list, show you what I've got, show what we've done, and give you a bit of a tour of the Barra VL. Alright, so probably start here. We have ProFlow manifold, it bolts straight on. I run this in the customer's XD, it's running 30 pound and it didn't explode then, so it should be right enough for me. Heap of either ProFlow or Raceworks gear, ProFlow rail, ProFlow catch can, ProFlow throttle body, Raceworks fuel reg, all Haltech sensors all running throughout. This is a VEK 6-cylinder radiator with the V8 thermofan to suit, so it's a bit of a bitzer. G42 1450 from Pulsar with one of their 45mm gates, I think it's 45 or 50, one or two. 3.5-inch exhaust to the back. We're running an Aeroflow at the moment. It's Aeroflow intercooler, and in behind there, I don't know if you'll see in there, hopefully, is a PWR transcooler. We're running a low fab bracketry. I don't know if you'll see it. You might see it from here. Low fab bracketry here, so you can run the transcooler in, I guess, a factory sort of location in front of the radiator. It's all tucked in well. I don't know if you'll see. You may not see it, but she's in there. So that's all tucked away in there. Factory body harness, but everything else is controlled by Haltech. So it starts off the Haltech, pumps run off the Haltech, fans run off the Haltech, everything else runs off Haltech. Running factory VL steering rack on the Falcon pump. This is a V8 K-frame, so it drops in the Barra. We sort of dropped the K-frame of about 15 mil, I think, something like that. And we'll go underneath and have a look underneath, so I can show you all the cool stuff under there. Alright, so the hoist is up, you can have a look underneath now. It's all pretty much stock under here in way body-wise, but we've run some cool aftermarket accessories. So front brakes, we're running Wilwood bolt-on, and we've done a Wilwood rear as well, so there's 4-spot Wilwoods in there. We run, like I said, you got the radiator, intercooler, transcooler's up in there. FG alternator, so we can control that by Haltech, what voltage we want to come out. This is a little party pipe. V8 K-frame, tough mount, engine mount, so they bolt straight in. And then we go through to, I think it's a torque power bell housing. I have to double check, but I'm pretty sure it's torque power. Bell housing to a Turbo 400 built by a mate of mine, Mark, who does awesome auto stuff. Custom exhaust, 3.5-inch all the way through. We're running just a small muffler here at the back, just to try and keep it somewhat tame, but not quiet. Rod shop, 9-inch with a true track. Farrow's shafting, they gave me a tail shaft in that with the big boy unis, and that's under there. This is from the rod shop as well. Chassis bracing kit, so we don't fold the thing in half when we try and turn the world around the opposite way. What else we got? Pedal suspension. Just run a Petters sports rider kit, keeps it sort of semi-level. We'll probably drop in the rear a little bit just to suit the VL look, but otherwise at the moment it's just struts and shocks and springs, nothing too fantastic. We might look at doing coilovers later maybe, but for the moment just get things on the road. It's been about 4 or 5 years. So yeah, we'll get this thing on the road, and I think we've got an event coming up in 2 weeks with Powercruise. That'll be its first proper test, so we'll test it there and see how it goes. But that's pretty much it for under here. I don't think there's anything else super fantastic that's no, well, apart from, well, so the only other thing I can probably tell you is this is also from Tough Mounts Turbo 400 kit, so it bolts into the stand positions and you run that up wherever you want to go. We've made the handbrake cables suit obvious as well, so the factory handbrake works. But that's about it for under here. Nothing else fantastic and super cool. Everything else has been made to fit how we can fit it. Like I said, there's custom power steering hoses, and everything else is sort of had to make to fit, but everything fits. It's tight, but it fits. The next thing we're going to talk about is these dogs. Walkies, 20 inch, we're 20 by 8.5 on the front, and they are 20 by 9.5 on the rear. We also have some racing slicks which I've got tucked over there, so we can run some slicks. And I have some Commodore sort of stocker 205 inch tyres, so we can go out and do some skids at our Powercruise with that. Let's go inside and have a look inside. It's a bit of a mess, but let's have a look. So interior wise, once it's all clean, I'll show you properly. But it's all pretty much stock. We've got a bit of a tear in the seat here, but otherwise that is it with the interior. I have all the trim pieces. I just got to pull it apart because we're running a power tune dash. I'm going to delete the e-boost because we're running it all through the Haltech now. And I have a fuel gauge that should work off the factory sender. It starts and stops off the key. We're running a B&M Pro Ratchet shifter in the factory location. I'll get in a bit closer so you can see, but it's just a little notch there to put up the lockout system. But it's full manualised and looking like a custom trimmed setup in a stock car. We had to get new door trims made because the cards were all nasty, so I have new window winders, new handles, new armrests. And when the painters painted it, they broke the seat pillar trims, so I've got new seat pillar trims. They're all tucked away in the back here to try and hopefully get them ready on for Powercruise. But yeah, that's interior. Radio turns on. I've got no speakers, I don't think. Well, there might be speakers up in there. I'll have to have a look. Pull my thing back. But yeah, I'll have to have a look and see if there's any speakers. If not, we might just have to rig up something, maybe a bit of a Bluetooth speaker for Powercruise, so we have something to listen to. There you go. 22nd of Feb 1988. Originals. But yeah, that's interior. She's a bit dusty and nasty, so once it's all painted up outside, I'll have you a better look for you. Interior, in the boot wise, into the boot we have twin 044s, surge tank, and we just made a little custom wooden box to hold everything. Flat battery in the boot, battery oscillator in the boot, and everything's controlled by Haltech. So nothing fancy. Nothing fancy, just clean and tidy really, trying to keep this thing stockish looking, so we can go for cruises without any trouble. It's legal 6-cylinder conversion, so we can do all that. We'll do a mod plate on that later. Running on the 85 factory tank, so we just run pumpy 85. I have got flex fuel sensor, so I'll probably run a flex fuel sensor after Powercruise, so I can do 98 or whatever. But at the moment we're just going to try and get it to a Powercruise, enjoy it, and come back and wig it up some more. Alright, so as before I said, we can do starts for the Haltech, so I've wired the ignition signal from the ECU to the stars, to the key, and then the key sends out a starting signal to the starter. So we'll start up and let you hear what it sounds like. So this has got a real bass tune in it. I literally sat on the hoist with it to get it to idle. It's got wideband in it, so I can watch what the AFRs are doing. This is the sound here. Yeah, I've literally just got a wideband on it and done some free rev stuff to try and make sure it idles. I can rev it and get up to temperature, so it's been up to temp. Checked oil pressures, checked for oil leaks. Everything's really good. There's no leaks. There's still only water in it at the moment. We've done an oil change on it, so it's ready to go that way. But that's it. It's really quiet. It sits here pretty quiet and comfortably, and it doesn't look too bad on the engine bay, I don't think. It just needs a bit of a wash. It's dirty. I still got to run cap scan. I've got to get adapters to change them from 6 to an 8, and we'll run the hose up and over, so we have cap scan. But otherwise, she's in, she's running, she's done. But it's probably going to piss some people off. It's something different. I could have done RB, I could have done LS, could have done Turbo LS, but I guess long story short of this one is I had a BF, was it BF? Yeah, BF Falcon Ute that was a gas motor. The body was falling apart around the motor, but the motor was perfect. Everything else fell apart. The motor was really good. The oil on this thing is spotless and clean inside. Speaking of internals, it's actually got atomic chain, atomic gears, billet oil pump, head studs, but still factory BF gas motor. So it's just a Greentop motor. So that's the reason why I had it. The motor was free, and then I've sort of pieced everything else together. We're just running a J pipe at the moment off the factory manifold. It seems to work and fit in there nicely. I may change to like a Pro Mod style manifold once I start chasing more boost, because this manifold might not like life. But otherwise, she's stock and turns. Oh, R35 coils. We've done a VCT delete. Look, I sort of half stuffed up. This thing's had, I guess as cars go, you change your mind 3 or 4 times. So I was going to run an Elite 750 just because I had one sitting here, and it was cheap enough for me to use, and then I thought about it, and now I've gone to a 2500, and I should have got the VCT in there, but it'll work. We'll play with it. If we need to put VCT back in and chase power and that low end stuff, I'll put the gears back in, and I'll put the sensors back in. It'll work. It's all there. It's all plumbed, ready to go, other than just turning the switch on the Haltech. All right, that's the VL. She's all pretty much done. I've just got to do some interior wiring so we can get the dash to work. I need the blinkers to work. I need the brake lights to work. Headlights work. Some of the interior stuff works, like the fan and the radio turns on. It moves forward. I haven't driven off the hoist yet. It's been on the hoist, we're giving gears on the hoist, but that's about it. So we're going to move it from there to dyno, and I'll start doing some dynoing. It's really close, so hopefully next weekend is Powercruise, so hopefully I can get this done by Friday this week, get on the dyno Friday, because that's my free day to do it, tune it, hopefully go all good. If it makes what I'm expecting to make, it should be heaps of fun, and then we can wick it up and see where it goes from there. I do have like 3 spare motors for this thing, so worst case scenario I can just build another one and slot it in. Probably the next video you'll see on this car will be tuning and Powercruise, so we'll see where it goes from there. If you're interested in this VL stuff, if there's any question you want to know about it, conversion stuff, let me know. We do have another couple of cars. We do have Tom's RX-7, so if you're interested in RX-7 13B stuff, let me know. We can do a bit of a tour on that thing as well. Comment below, let me know. But otherwise, that's it from this one for the VL. It starts, it moves, it does its things, it's ready for the dyno, so the next one will be on the dyno. So hit that like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.